to the Titan Tigerland. Nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Hello and welcome into the Thom Abraham Show. Of course, this is not Tom. This is Chad Gwathney, a.k.a. Coach Grizz, producer of the Thom Abraham Show, the office manager, the glue, as Drew D likes to say. And it is a beautiful Tuesday. Thank you so much for listening to all of our programming. Talking Ball 7 to 9, Morning Blitz 9 to 10. You've got Thom Abraham Show 12 to 2, and you've got The Drive from 5 to 7. Continue to listen to 977 ESPN on the app. You can also listen to Talk Radio WZZN as well. That's your HD2 on your radio. Of course, you see 1 and 2. If you hit 2, you'll get Fox News throughout the week. You also get Fox Sports after 7 o'clock, before 5 o'clock, because, of course, from 5 to 7, you'll get Miller and Moulton on Talk Radio WZZN. But also download the app Talk Radio WZZN. I know a lot of people I have met on WZZN nights at the Trash Pandas games that have been telling me that the HD channel has been going in and out. We're still working on that, but the app always continues to stay true. Now, you will have a couple of spots here or there, but it is something that literally is not like on the radio side, that I know most people can't even just get the radio part or don't have an HD2 channel. So download the app. Everyone has a phone nowadays. There's no reason for someone to tell me that they can't figure it out. They have somebody in their life that can probably figure it out. If not, call in and we will help you. We will be a call-in line. We will help you figure out how to download the app, and we'll make sure that we download that Talk Radio WZZN app so you can catch every pitch of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. As Josh Carey continues to do a great job, and we're going to get him on tomorrow at 12:25, as the Morning Blitz boys are actually going to join me on the show. And then also at 1 o'clock, we're going to have Dan Purcell, who is going to be a different kind of guest. I'm going to get him on, and we're going to talk the NBA draft. So that's going to be a lot of fun, too. Thank you, Bo Estes, if you're listening, for the great guest as well. Today, it may sound like we're kind of breaking down everything that's going on in the sports world, because we are. We still have a guest later on today at 1 o'clock. We have David Moulton from the ESPN Southwest Florida. You can also hear him on Miller and Moulton 5 to 7 every morning on Talk Radio WZZN, like I just said earlier. And it's just he's a great guest that it's just absolutely awesome to have him on. I know everybody enjoys listening to him talk to Tom. It's about 35 minutes. It's like NPR radio, but we'll try to keep it short and sweet and kind of break down everything that happened last night, stuff that's going to happen out throughout the week. You got the NBA draft coming up tomorrow, in a couple days, not tomorrow, in a couple days. And that 2-day event, we're also going to probably recap the College World Series. We're also going to recap the crazy that was the Stanley Cup final. I'll say this right now. I absolutely enjoyed the Stanley Cup final more than I did the NBA final. I thought the Stanley Cup final was absolutely thrilling. I thought it was an amazing event. I think, both teams tried absolutely their hardest. I think that, honestly, you didn't have any – I mean, they probably were playing through injuries, and it's just not like the NBA where I'm sitting here as a Hawks fan just hoping that Luka doesn't win, but also it's like at least try or show something, like some defense. And Kyrie kind of just, everyone was praising him and his attitude and his play and everything that he was doing going up into the finals. And then all of a sudden he kind of just fell away. And like I said before, Jaylen Brown wins the MVP. And I thought he was the best player throughout the finals. He was the best player. Jason Tatum statistically, right? I mean, he's great. But I just think the guy, the guy that's like the team is Jaylen Brown. East Cobb represent. I mean, he's not from East Cobb. I'm from East Cobb. But Cobb County represent, because I think he's just a great athlete. I feel like the Hawks should have probably pulled the trigger a couple years ago, or last year especially, and probably put him on that roster. And then, Boston probably doesn't win a title this year. So I'm just saying, I'm just trying to be that salty Hawks fan, that salty Hawks fan. But man, what better way to kind of listen to? And this was what's crazy is I wish I had got him on, but it didn't work out. We ended up getting Bob Stauffer on. Hopefully he'll come back on our program. Big Alabama fan, but color commentator for the Edmonton Oilers. And he was on yesterday and talking about the run and everything that the stud that is Connor McDavid was able to do. Draisaitl and absolute Stuart Skinner just having one of the best careers in those last basically those last 3 games, game 4, 5, and 6, and then that 1 goal difference in the final is just got to be killer. Got to be sick to his stomach. But what a thrilling game. But last night, of course, the Florida Panthers go on to win their first Stanley Cup ever as a franchise, as they started out in 1993. And yesterday, of course, I was trying to get some guests on, and I actually reached out to Florida Panthers radio network play-by-play announcer Doug Plagans, and he was busy. And I get that, but Bob had some time. Bob was able to join, so it was great to have Bob on. But I was about to have Doug on, but Doug was a little busy, and there was a great final call that Doug did. And I want you to listen to this, and now I want you to listen to this because it kind of sounds too close to home sometimes for me. It is absolutely great. I think it just shows you the love that a home announcer can really show when his team finally wins or gets over the hump, or it's something that you've seen for so long, and as a fan, even if you're the announcer, as a fan, you are like, oh my gosh, yeah, you're just feeling it, and you feel it for him. But just give this a listen.
Fans to their feet. Bouchard has missed Draisaitl. Down to our right. Forsling in the corner. He'll try and hold this. 10 seconds left. 2-1 Panthers. A dream 30 years in the making is a reality. Whoa! The Florida Panthers have won the Stanley Cup.
Lord Stanley is coming home. You always will have a place in South Florida. Oh, my God!
The Panthers have won the Stanley Cup for the first time in franchise history.
Yeah!
Start the celebration, South Florida. The Panthers have done it.
Stanley Cup champions!
The Florida Panthers. The Florida Panthers are the 2024 Stanley Cup champions.
Oh, we crossed the finish line, buddy. We crossed it. Oh, what a bunch of guys. Paul Maurice, congratulations. Oh, what a team. What a gutsy effort. That is some cojones, boys. Wow. Oh.
They did it. The team from the start of training camp had one goal, and that was to get back to the Stanley Cup final and finish the job. Mission accomplished. The Florida Panthers are the 2024 Stanley Cup champions. Soak it all in.
I mean, does it kind of sound like somebody? Does it kind of sound like somebody? Does it kind of sound like onions? Does it kind of sound like shot on goal, shot on goal, shot on goal? Does it not sound like a Drew DeArmond or a Steve Moulton? That it's just like they're so great at their craft. They're so great at explaining a player or explaining something that is going on in the game. But when their team, when the Huntsville Havoc or when the Huntsville Crimson Panthers win the title, I mean, that right there. Now, that was color commentator and former Panther himself, Bill Lindsay. I believe, because I looked this up. I was trying to find out who the color guy was, and I'm pretty sure it's Bill Lindsay, the former player himself. But every time I heard of that, it just made me think of Drew and Steve, and it's just, I mean, it was just, I get it. It looks funny. It sounds funny. It is, you kind of go, what a cornball, what a goofball. But I feel like if I was in the same position and I'm sitting there and, you know, Grissom wins the state title and something and I'm announcing it, I probably would get a little crazy. You know what I mean? If I had the chance to do something like that where my alma mater comes back, or just, with a team that I'm helping out with. If one day I'm an announcer for one of these teams locally here in town and I get my chance, then, I'm going to show every bit of emotion probably as well for my home team, because this is the home. I mean, it is the home radio broadcast, but Doug did a great job. But that's the reason why you have a great color guy. Whether I'm a play-by-play or a color guy or whatever, you're going to get every bit of emotion out of that. And it's the reason why, we just love announcers so much. It's kind of the reason why I think I've just had a niche for radio and just love radio in general, because I've just been around it so much. The Braves, and just being here locally, and always kind of listening to this radio station for so many years, and listening to Steve, of course, too. Steve, I don't know how many years I've probably been listening to Steve do Madison Academy games. I've known who Thom Abraham. I knew who Thom Abraham was before I started working here, and to think that I'm his producer for his show is just absolutely crazy. So, what an awesome win for the Florida Panthers. Just 2-1 victory over the Edmonton Oilers. But what Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers have been able to do, what they're able to do to come back and just make it a series that we actually enjoyed, and people were actually watching hockey. And just how boring and just lackluster the NBA Finals was. It's like, I really wish we could have some more, because now we're just getting an overflux of like USWL soccer or NBA or WNBA basketball, and I really don't want that. If you could put the Bally Live app, on workable function TVs and streaming services, I would love to watch, I don't know, baseball, MLS Pro Soccer maybe here locally. Maybe you could just give me something that I would enjoy, rather than something that's just thrown at me all the time telling me that it's great when I don't agree with it and I have to watch it, or I don't have to watch. I guess I could just turn it off and maybe touch grass and go outside. But, I just prefer to watch those types of things. And if you gave me, like, for instance, if you could put AAA baseball in front of me, they talk about how long college baseball is, and Tony Vitello said it earlier about how the 4-hour long games and everything like that. You put those types of games in front of me, I will pay attention to those players. These are players that, like, it's like in college, like, we forget about them as soon as they go to the pros, and it's like you start thinking about it, and then you go, oh yeah, I didn't remember that guy. Oh yeah, he did play for that college. Because like baseball, we really don't think about it. Football, it's like we go, oh, we know immediately which guy, where he went where. We can look at one of those things on Twitter where it is literally the football grid of like the offense or something like that, and it'll show a formation, and it'll have all the schools on the certain positions. And because you can pin out 3 of them probably, or 2 of them probably, you can probably pin out one of them based on the quarterback. What NFL team that is. But with baseball, I could probably throw out a bunch of colleges in the 9 positions, and you may get one on every single one of them, unless you're a baseball nut. But football, it's like you could probably notice a couple of them, and you're like, oh, I know who that is immediately. Baseball, you kind of like, I don't know about that. You know what I mean? Because there's always different starting lineups and everything like that. But some guys may be undrafted. Some guys may come out of high school. Some guys might not even gone to college, or maybe, they've gone to college, but you're like, you didn't even know, you know what I mean? You didn't know Spencer Strider went to Clemson. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things where it's like, it's not common knowledge for everybody. And I feel like that if you give me the AAA games and you give me the AA games in front of me, I'd probably be more into it. You know what I mean? So, I just think that if I had that opportunity to be able to watch those types of sports, I'd probably be more into it. I love going locally. Obviously, we do love going locally. We do watch the Trash Pandas on 31.6. So you do have 31. You know how to find out 31.6, but you can't figure out HD2. So we do have the Trash Pandas here locally. But I'm just saying, that's like if I'm out of town and I could watch it. You know what I mean? Or maybe it's a game of the week. They could put it on ESPN or ESPN2 or whatever. You know what I mean? They do all these games during the summer that are just absolutely boring, and I'm not really like into that. So it's like, give me something that like, and most people are probably into too as well. So I'm just saying, it was an awesome Stanley Cup. I'm going to continue to be a big, poser when it comes to hockey, because I don't know anything about hockey, but I love hockey when it comes down to the Stanley Cup. I do love I just love finals in general. The College World Series, the NBA Finals, the Stanley Cup Final, the World Series. I'm going to watch those things. I don't know why you wouldn't, because they're a part of history. I mean, it's every single year. And you can remember, that's the thing. It's like if you're a history person and you like certain types of sports, you can remember who won the last 6 championships, or you can remember who's won the majority SEC. You know what I mean? Those are the things. It's like football, not basketball, but football, baseball. It's the two most southern sports, Southeast especially, that they're so good at. You know what I mean? The SEC is king. So, you know, I just would rather watch those types of sports. I'd rather be revolved around those types of players, because I feel like that, you know, it's just something that most people want to watch too in general, and most people kind of relate to a little bit, and most people will watch. So, you know, just give me something fun. You know what I mean? Give me something that I'm gonna like gravitate towards. Like, I probably was never more like really interested in a Stanley Cup than this year. I mean, it's those types of polarizing players that, you know, will really kind of gravitate me towards that sport. All right, we're going to take a break, and on the other side, we're going to break down Tennessee's magical run as they win a national title for the first ever in program history. For the first time in program history, as the baseball program wins the national title over the Texas A&M Aggies. Then we'll also break down the Atlanta Braves as they are in a road series on the road against the St. Louis Cardinals. And man, I would love to see the Braves take on the Cardinals. Now, I've seen the Cubs take on the Cardinals in St. Louis, 2 great franchises. But I would just love to see the Braves take on the Cardinals in St. Louis and just absolutely enjoy it. The scenery, it's just like the Battery. If you've ever been, please go. Just go take a trip. It's 6 hours. It's a lot of fun. If you have the capital, go do it. It's a lot of fun. It reminds me of the Battery so much, and just something really fun. But other than that, enough of that. We need to take a break. On the other side, we'll be right back. This is Chad Gwathney taking over the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Check out VSiN's catalog of original podcasts, daily and weekly programming to keep you in the know when you're on the go. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
0-2 pitch, grounded to short, and underneath the glove of Arcia into center field, and the Cardinals are going to pick up another run on the base hit by Wilson Contreras.
Cardinals radio in Monday's 4-3 win over Atlanta. Brendan Donovan had 3 hits with an RBI. Lance Lynn pitched into the 7th, lifting the Cards to their 4th consecutive win in 9th over 12 games. St. Louis is 25-13 after a 15-24 start. Atlanta, meanwhile, had won 8 of their previous 10 games. Get the latest lines and more at vsin.com.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. And look at you, hands perfectly placed on the wheel, not like the driver to the right of you who's really going after that drum solo. Save with DriveWise in the Allstate app and only pay a rate based on you.
Not available in every state, subject to terms and conditions. Rating factors and savings vary, and in some states your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Owen Home Appliance Center features the biggest names in home appliances like Viking, Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, GE, and Frigidaire. But they also have great brands that you may not know, like Mela, Forno, Z-Line, Invisicook, and Beko. But no matter what, they all get delivered the day you buy, and they service everything they sell. And at the Lacey Spring Showroom, just 8 miles south of the river on 231, you'll find a totally interactive showroom where you can hear the dishwashers wash, and the freezer's free, and see the cookies get baked in the double ovens. Owen Home Appliance Center will even wash and dry a load of clothes for you so that you can see how great the products are. And they have ice machines making all kinds of ice, cubed, nugget, and top hat. How is that for variety? Owen Home Appliance Center believes in community involvement as well, sponsoring youth teams, race cars, and an annual Easter egg hunt. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service is the name of the game for Owen Home Appliance Center. Find them in Somerville and Lacey Springs and online at owenappliance.com.
Do you have discomfort in your legs? Varicose veins can affect not only how your legs look, but how they feel. Symptoms can include pain, heaviness, aching, fatigue, or swelling at the end of the day. If this has been the case, then Varicosity Vein Center can come to your aid. Evaluation and treatment of the veins is performed as an outpatient, utilizes the latest, minimally invasive techniques, and is covered by most insurances. After treatment, patients may resume most normal activities without delay. Varicosity Vein Center now has 3 North Alabama locations, one in Huntsville on South Memorial Parkway between Drake and Airport Road. Our new locations include Madison at Madison Hospital Complex and Coleman at the Coleman Regional Sports Medical Center. You can call 256-715-7151 to set up your appointment with one of our experienced and compassionate team members, or you can visit online at varicosityweincenter.com. Varicosity Vein Center, Alabama's premier vein center.
The Just for Pros event at Lowe's is back. Check out special savings on the toughest tools, handpicked for pros. Buy one Metabo HPT 36-volt battery starter kit, get a select bare tool free. And save on the DeWalt Tough Grip 110-piece drill driver bit set. Was $49.98, now just $29.98. Shop in-store, online, or on the Lowe's app and pick up in-store. While supplies last, valid 1/17/22 through 1/28/22. U.S. only.
Hey folks, Bobby White here for Woody Anderson Ford. Get ready to experience the ride of your life with our summer lineup. First up, the 2024 Bronco Sport. We've got nearly 75 to choose from. Bronco Sport is built for adventure with its rugged design, all-terrain capability, and advanced tech features. And right now at Woody Anderson Ford, you get $1,750 in total cash back. And yes, we do have the Bronco Badlands Edition in stock. Need something bigger? Check out the award-winning Expedition. Perfect for families and summer vacation. It offers spacious comfort, top-notch safety features, and plus, we've got 24 Expedition financing as low as 2.9% for up to 72 months. And for all you truck lovers, we've got the 2024 F-150. America's favorite truck, delivers unmatched power and innovative features, and we've got financing as low as 3.9% for 60 months on F-150. Plus, these are the final hours of no payments for 90 days on select models, including Expedition, Bronco Sport, Explorer, and more. These offers are with your good credit, and they end July 8th. Come on in to Woody Anderson Ford. Hope to see you soon.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Swing and a miss. And for the first time, Rocky Top reaches the mountaintop of college baseball. They are the World Series champions.
Oh, yeah. Soak it all in. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Thom Abraham Show. That's probably the only time that you're going to hear Rocky Top. Or, I guess during football season, I'll play Rocky Top occasionally for Football Friday just because, it's Football Friday and I don't want any Vols fans to get mad. If I don't play any Rocky Top or if I don't play any, if I don't play anything to make, say, hey, what about us Vol fans? But congratulations. I'm not going to be a stickler. I'm not going to be a homer. I'm not going to be one of those types of fans that didn't respect Tennessee baseball just getting the win. Give Texas A&M a lot of credit. I mean, they just did nothing but win throughout the tournament. And to come into a buzzsaw, which many people thought that Tennessee was kind of like, oh no, like what's going on? Alabama beat them in a series at the beginning of the season, and people thought that Tennessee was on the verge of collapsing just by just by losing to Alabama, or just by a few losses that they had throughout the regular season. But to make the run that they did, the regular season title or the tournament title, then to win the College World Series. It's got to be truly special, and it just shows you why the SEC is king. And Tennessee apparently is not done here. Apparently, according to Peyton Manning, Tennessee's not done here. This is what Peyton Manning had to say about Tennessee athletics in general.
Watch this moment for Tony Vitello and the Vols. It's awesome. It's awesome. I don't know any other word to describe it, right? We've been knocking on the door these past several years, and we've been close, kind of had our heart ripped out, but you keep fighting, right? You don't say, hey, that was our shot, now, we're never get another shot. You just keep fighting, right? And I kind of live that as a player, and I have a real appreciation for Tony and these players for just continuing to fight and saying, hey, we're doing something right. Let's just keep knocking on the door. Let's keep sawing wood, and good things are going to happen, and it sure did happen tonight in Omaha. What's your relationship like with Tony and, just getting to talk with him? I know you guys have done some funny videos over the years with the Omaha and all that jazz, but to see him get it done. Yeah, I've really enjoyed the friendship, and we've really gotten to know each other. He's supported several charity events of mine, and it's been a special friendship. And, he corresponds with my dad. My dad played college baseball, played in the College World Series, believe it or not. Tony corresponds with him, which says a lot about him. Tony's obviously close with his dad, knows the relationship I have with my dad, so I certainly appreciate that. And, I'm proud to be his friend and proud that he's the Tennessee Volunteers head baseball coach. And obviously,
I like Peyton Manning. I really do. I really don't like the Manning cast. I might boo me all you want. I might be one of those guys that just doesn't like it, because it's like watching the Manning cast is fun sometimes and it's funny sometimes, but it's like watching it with like somebody that just like talks the entire time. It's like you're watching House of the Dragon or something, and someone keeps telling you because they've read the book, like they keep telling you what's going on and everything like that. I guess that's the reason why I don't like those types of shows. I wouldn't want you to listen to me sit here and talk about the game going on when you're watching the game right in front of you, and you're in your own home, and you know what I mean? Like, it just, I just think it's just too much of a comedy a lot of times, and I just think that, like, I love, like, the guests that they bring on and everything like that, and I do think that Peyton Manning is quite knowledgeable, but I just think that it's just, like I said, I think it's just kind of like, it just takes my attention away from watching what's going on in the game, and I'd rather just sit there and enjoy the game than have to listen to that. So, but I mean, I think it was special. I mean, it's huge. It's huge for Tennessee. Maybe it's in the right step of direction. Obviously, it's good recruiting for SEC, but it's the right step of direction for Tennessee as a program. I mean, just in baseball alone. I mean, what happens to Tony Vitello? I mean, he is statistically the best coach, that Tennessee's probably ever had. On top of the national title in the 7 years that he's been a head coach, he's 284 and 110. He's got a 721 winning percentage. He's got a national title under his belt. You don't think that Texas, who just got rid of David Pierce, like we said earlier in the program, could have a chance to go after him? You don't think so? I mean, it's. I mean, could he change, the Vols T for Texas T. You know what I mean? I wasn't trying to do a Beverly Hillbillies little throw in there right there. I didn't mean to do that at all. And like when we go anywhere, we're like every other redneck family, or I should say or every other Southern family. We are the Clampetts. We get called the Clampetts. I think every Southern family just calls their family the Clampetts when they're on the road, because that's just like what everybody watched apparently in the South, and apparently all related to them. When none of us found black gold, Texas tea. We never found any of that. You know what I mean? All we found was alcoholism. No, I'm just kidding. But I mean, it's just silly. I mean, it's just, you never know what's going to happen in this college baseball world with NIL. The way the college sports is just kind of changing. Coaches can come and go like the past, like before, based off of what programs are going to pay them. But, now that, Tony Vitello is a very polarizing character, and this is like getting, the best guy in college baseball right now. And I think Tony Vitello might be one of the best coaches in college baseball right now, just because of the level of success that they've had and the run that they've had. So congratulations to Tennessee. Congratulations to the Volunteers. Hopefully it'll go in the right direction, and maybe they'll find something. Maybe they'll keep Vitello for even longer and win a couple more titles, and we'll have to hear about it for forever. Smokey Mike's going to call in, I'm sure. I'm just glad that Thom is out of town, so I don't have to hear from Smokey Mike today and about the Volunteers, because I'm sure that he probably had a stroke. Tennessee Jeff, I'm sure. Vol Man, I'm sure all of these men want to call in today when they're listening right now, but Thom's not here. So you're probably not going to get any responses from that. I'm just going to say. All I'm going to say is congratulations, and hopefully you can hold on to your coach. So we'll have to see what happens around the college baseball world, of course, as we kind of see what direction the Texas Longhorns go as who they want as their next head coach. Because that's huge news as well. Even though that's like, it's not trying to like overshadow Tennessee or anything like that. That's huge news as well. Because if they get a Tony Vitello, they get a really good coach. They get somebody that comes in and can win right away. Texas is a problem for sure. I mean, Texas A&M's probably a problem too for many years as well. You know what I mean? So, because if Jim Schlossnagle, if he stays around, and, Texas A&M he could very much pull a Tony Vitello. He could very much do these next few years and stay within the College World Series, get to the finals again, win the national title. I honestly thought Florida was going to win the national title this year. Everyone kept talking about Florida and how they barely got in because of like having a positive record and all this other stuff. And I'm like, Florida was the runner-up last year to LSU, who didn't even make it. Didn't even make it. Didn't make the College World Series. Florida was the runner-up, and you would have thought maybe they would have made it, because Florida, being the runner-up, being right there, they had like the hardest schedule in college baseball, and to make the run that they made, I mean, it's just truly remarkable. I mean, and I just love college baseball, and that's what I got into my little rant earlier about just us as fans. It was like, we don't really give credit enough for these athletes because it's not football. It's not football. If this was Tennessee football, the phone would be ringing off the hook if this was Tennessee football. But it's Tennessee baseball. We're only going to get it for like a month, and then it's, we might hear about it again later. They'll bring it up again later about Tennessee and blah, blah, blah. But, I just think that, we need to give college baseball a little bit more love and a little bit more, because it's just as crazy and just as wild as college football and college basketball can be, especially in the South, the Southeast. The SEC and the ACC are going to do everything in their power to try to get the best teams in there. The big, with Texas being in the SEC now and Texas A&M, being a power like they have been. Georgia was really good this year. Alabama's playing really well. LSU. South Carolina had a down year, but South Carolina's going to get better. I mean, Arkansas, these are Mississippi State, Ole Miss. These are teams that, like, I have literally just rattled off. Some of these teams have already won the national title, and you wouldn't have expected them to win the national title. So, or some of them, I would say. Vandy. I didn't even say Vandy. So it's like the SEC is always going to be king in this, and so you wonder what the SEC is going to do and how much harder it is for Rob Vaughn and the Crimson Tide and Butch Thompson and almost said the Cardinals and the Auburn Tigers are really going to have to dig down and dig deep and figure it out because it's going to be really tough in the SEC. And as we now move our attention to the MLB, we break down the Atlanta Braves as, of course, Schwellenbach wasn't so schwell last night. As pretty much they're talking about a 1-inning difference. I mean, really, just again, I would have said before Schwellenbach just wasn't getting the run support. But it just feels like he can give you 5 innings, he can give you 6 innings, he's going to give you work, but he's going to give you runs. And that bottom of the third was huge for the Cardinals, as they were able to score 4 runs in the bottom of the third. The Braves were able to get 1. In the 5th, in the top of the 5th, as Austin Riley hits his 8th homer of the year. And then in the top of the 9th, Ramon Laureano, who I feel like it's like the Braves just keep getting 6. Why? How do they do it? I don't know. Continue to do it. That's all I care about. But to continue to get success out of guys that should be on the bench right now, in my opinion. Got a line drive RBI single and was able to score another run for the Braves. During the top of the 9th, as the Braves did try to claw their way back, and then Travis d'Arnaud was able to do a sac fly and get within 1 run with 2 outs. But it's just the Cardinals are playing much better this year. Don't get me wrong. I think that they're way better than they were last year. They're sitting at 2nd in the NL Central. I think they are. Let's see, they are 2nd behind the Braves, as the Braves are 4.5 on the first spot in the wild card, and the Cardinals have the 2nd spot. But the 2nd spot, or the 3rd spot, is basically just like between 4 teams. It's like 1.5 games. The Cardinals are only really 1 game up on the Padres for that 2nd spot in the wild card. So, it's it's a tough team. It's tough to go on the road as well. The Braves are 19-20 on the road. They're 24-13 at home right now. It's something that most teams seem to be playing a lot better at home anyway, and it's just rough for teams to get something going. And the Braves just seem to it's kind of rough for the Braves to get something going. Yes, Austin Riley hit his 8th home run, but you have situations where, of course, you have 4 at-bats from Albies, 0 hits. You know what I mean? You have 1 hit, which he did score a run. You have 1 hit out of 4 at-bats out of Matt Olson. I mean, you need these core guys. Like I said yesterday with Steve Moulton, I mean, the Braves were like ranked 1 and 2 in everything and top from 1 to 9. You still had guys that were ranked in offensive categories that were just off the charts. And yes, as Michael Kay said, as the kids say in the Yankees broadcast against the Braves offense is very mid right now. But to take 2 out of 3 from the Yankees on a mid offense, which he was right, they're ranked like 13, 14 in the MLB. So they're not world beaters, but they're also like they're borderline of being something great and not as great as they were obviously the year before. But they're creeping away. They're winning games. They're able to stay on top of the wild card. I get it. You don't want the wild card, but you could also make a run like the Phillies did. I feel like I would love to win the division, but I feel like this Braves team is all about momentum rather than, having just a really good core team. And it's like outside of the core, that's what's keeping you in games, and you need that core to start to start waking up and getting you runs and producing and helping for a young guy like Schwellenbach. Because I feel like they're going to kick him back down. And, we may never see Schwellenbach again. He may stay in AAA for a little bit, and we might see Ian Anderson when he's getting healthy or something like that, because we've already seen such, not I wouldn't say terrible outings by Schwellenbach, but just like where it's like it's kind of like Fried. Fried gives you 4 runs in the first inning, and you're like, this is Max Fried. Like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Why is he still on the roster? Because it's Max Fried. He's going to have a really bad night, first inning one night, and he'll have like a stellar, complete game or whatever the next game. So it's just a jack of all trades. It's just crazy. He's a wild card. These are young pitchers. Again, you also had another young pitcher in Perry for the Braves who is gone down with an injury, and that's just another young pitcher for the Braves who has gone down, and it's just crazy to think that like even these young pitchers are going down, but you have these veterans who are keeping you in the mix. You have Reynaldo Lopez, who's going tonight, who is a guy that thank you Rocket City Trash Pandas. Well, not the Trash Pandas. I wouldn't say the Trash Pandas. I'm sorry. Thank you LA Angels for getting rid of Reynaldo Lopez. The Guardians picking him up. He had him for like a few days. They got rid of him, and then the Braves picked him up, and he's having one of his best careers as a pitcher. So it's just crazy how baseball works like that. I'm a baseball nut. I enjoy it. I love it. I think it's great. I think it's just really cool how baseball kind of works like that. It's the reason why I love college baseball. It's the reason why I love college softball so much. That's why I like softball more than I do college basketball on the girls' side. It's just because I think it's just more gravitating for me as a former like I used to play baseball, but just as a player, a person that loves baseball, a person that just loves outdoor sports in general, and just something that it's always like I've always been a big fan of. So. Hopefully the Braves will get on the right side and get on some winning ways. They are 7-3 in their last 10, of course. That was their first loss. And let's see. Just sitting there. I mean, just a thing. They're 10 games over 500, and yet, they're just not. It's like years past when you go look at other teams that are playing really well, and like Thom would make comparisons about how like some records are better or whatever, but then the NL East is just bad because it has been bad. But you've got the Phillies, who are one of the best teams in baseball. You've got literally the best team in baseball other than the Yankees. You've got the Brewers, who are basically just 3 games better than the Braves, but the Braves would be sitting at second still in the Central. But years past, it would have been like the Central would have been like the worst. Both Centrals are, I think, absolutely the worst every single year, and you just got to count them out. But the Guardians are playing really well as well. So, it's just one of those things where you're watching some of these teams, they're playing a lot better. The Twins are playing, which I feel like the Twins are every year. They should be competing for the Central every single year. The Royals are playing. They're over 500. It seems like the AL West is one of the worst divisions. I think it's one of the worst divisions in baseball. You do have the Mariners sitting at 9 games over 500, but you have the Astros at negative, you have the Rangers at negative, the Angels at negative, and of course the dismal Athletics, which the Athletics are better than the White Sox, and that's the reason why I think I would take the AL West a little bit more still than the AL Central, even though you have 2 teams that are above 500. So that was my take on the latest around the Major League Baseball world and the College World Series. And we still have a second hour set up for you. We're going to have David Moulton, of course. Please continue to listen to the program. We're going to have David Moulton. We're going to be on the Zoom side, so if you're watching on WZZN TV, it'll be David and I on Zoom, and we'll kind of break down more of the College World Series. We'll break down the Stanley Cup Final. And then, we'll probably just, talk about Thom the entire time. No, I'm just kidding. We'll probably just, just kind of, talk about anything, really. I know that a lot of people love to have David Moulton on. I really did not have today planned very well, so I apologize. Tomorrow is so much more better planned. I believe we have a baseball game Thursday. I think that's what Steve told me. I think we have a baseball game Thursday. So there could be some extended programming. I don't even know. I don't know what was going on. We'll try to figure that out. If it's not, we'll figure that out as well. May have Steve Merrill on Thursday. If not, we'll have Steve Merrill on Friday. But yeah, to get Dave Moulton in, I was making sure that I was going to have him on. It'll be him and I. We'll break down everything we're supposed to break down that I want to talk about. And we'll probably just get into whatever. We may just, maybe we'll form a show out of it. No, I'm just kidding. All right, we're going to go to a break. We're going to break down more on the other side, pay some bills. But while we're on break, the first caller to call in right now will win a 4-pack to the next Rocket City Trash Pandas home game. We have Dog Night on July 10th. I have tickets, Section 3, Row C. If you do bring your dog, you have to sit in the berm or you have to sit in the 1 and 2 area, Section 1 and 2 area. But if you don't bring your dog, I have a 4-pack right here. You can sit in Section 3. Section 3, Row C. I've got a 4-pack. First caller, just call in, compliment on the show, say, hey, Chad, you're doing a great job with Tom being out of town, and you get to win that 4-pack. But thank you so much again for listening to us. We'll be right back. This is Chad Gwathney on the Thom Abraham Show, 977 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Are you feeling tired? Are you feeling sluggish? Gentlemen, Game Day Men's Health. Game Day Men's Health is here to help you. Braden is here. Braden, you've got the answers.
Thanks, Scott. Whether it's low T, erectile dysfunction, weight loss, or a number of other things, we have a solution for them.
It's Game Day Men's Health. Give them a call today at
256-850-1570.
You can find them online,
GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
Hey, what man wouldn't like to have tests done in a man cave?
That's right. Come in for your free test and consultation, walk into a world-class staff, a comfortable, relaxed environment, and we got your results in about 20 minutes with appointments less than an hour.
And the big game is always on the TV. It's Game Day Men's Health. Give them a call.
256-850-1570.
Online,
GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
It's Game Day Men's Health, not your average men's clinic.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find them online at chapmancommercialrealty.com.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
Hey folks, Bob Baumhauer here. We're extremely proud that Baumhauer's Victory Grill has been serving Alabama for 43 legendary years. Our motto is legendary fun, legendary food, and we strive to make every dining experience a special one for all of our guests. Our menu features delicious, always fresh and scratch-made in-house recipes. And of course, our award-winning wings and sauces. And don't forget, our happy hour and halftime daily specials cannot be beat. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly to partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 90s. We're dropping into the low and mid 70s as we head into the overnight. A mostly cloudy sky Wednesday afternoon. We're still going to get to enjoy a little bit of sunshine. Temperatures climbing into the upper 80s and lower 90s. I actually think we're going to get a little bit of rain on Wednesday. Temperatures drop into the lower 70s as we head into the overnight. A mostly to partly sunny sky Thursday afternoon. Temperatures again climbing into the upper 80s and lower 90s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
There's the phone and no one to answer.
256-576-4977.
And as a result, we got many, many phone calls and letters.
Give us a call on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline today. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
However, I don't really have a great answer for your
question because I really don't give a f. Like, honestly, I want to coach the Lakers. I want to coach the team. I don't want to dispel anything. I don't. I want to become a great coach in the NBA, and I want to win championships, and I want my players to maximize their careers. That's all I care about.
That is newly hired Los Angeles Lakers head coach J.J. Redick. Yeah, J.J. Redick, the former Duke star, the former Orlando Magic, Milwaukee Bucks, Los Angeles Clippers, Philadelphia 76ers, New Orleans Pelicans, Dallas Mavs. That former player. Yeah, the podcaster. Actually has a really good basketball podcast. I would probably listen to what he has to say if I was a player. I would probably shut up. This whole player entitlement crap in the WNBA is stupid. I hope that he is that next wave of coaches that will just come in and be like, look, there's so many great coaches out here, but you're not. I mean, I get it, you're the face of the franchise, but you got to listen to your coach. You can't have the LeBrons of the world, which he wasn't even a part of this coaching search, apparently. He didn't want anything to do with it. And I just wish that players would stay out of it more often. I feel like that they're owed something. It's kind of like the football players are trying to get, where it's like these running backs really think that they're owed something when it's just like, you're a running back, you're a dime a dozen. Like, you can get a new running back next year. You know, it's just rough. It's just life. That's life. That is life. I could get fired tomorrow and you could have a new host or a new producer or a new office manager or a new traffic manager. I'm trying to label all of my jobs that I have around here. Maid. I mean, you have all of these types of things that could happen. And it shouldn't just matter because you're rich. You know what I mean? Or you're a professional athlete. But that's kind of how it works. And, J.J. Redick's going to be... I think J.J. Redick was a great hire. He, and I get it, he's never coached on the NBA level, but he's an NBA player. And I feel like basketball is a little easier to kind of come into as a coach that's never coached before and do it. Because I feel like football has all of these types of people you have to deal with, all these coaches, all the players, everything that's outside of it. Basketball is you got 12, 15 guys on the roster. You're trying, I get it, it's probably a little harder because it's so much fewer guys, but you're trying to figure out contracts with fewer players, but also you're the coach, but you're also, I guess you're trying to get the developmental league in the right frame of mind too. So, I mean, there may be some harder instances of certain aspects of the job, but I feel like as a former player, you can kind of not walk into it, but you can kind of ease your way into it a little bit better. And there are some great former names that have not won and have won. J.J. Redick has never coached the NBA level, like I said, as a head coach or an assistant. Other former players to do this were Doc Rivers. He's the only one to win a title with the Celtics. I mean, you've got Jason Kidd. I think he's a great head coach. Got his team to the finals. You got Mark Jackson with the Warriors. You got Doc Rivers with the Magic. You got Larry Bird, who was with the Pacers. These were all their first teams, right? Jason Kidd had the Nets. Mark Jackson had the Warriors. But now J.J. Redick with the Lakers. We'll see what happens. I think Mark Jackson should get a ring for setting that team up because Steve Kerr is a great head coach, and that's a former player, and did a great job and won. A head coaching title. But so I guess the reason why Steve Kerr technically is not on that list because I guess he was an assistant at one time. So, Steve Kerr, great head coach, never been a head coach, but great head coach and, does a great job, obviously, continuing with the Golden State Warriors and the U.S. national team, whether you like his political stance or not. Ever since he's kind of taken over that Golden State, they've won. Even that 2022 run, that was insane. So this isn't like the 2020s where LeBron and the Lakers won, the COVID championship. So, that's the music. On the other side, we're going to have David Moulton from ESPN Southwest Florida. You can also hear him on Talk Radio WZZN from 5 to 7 in the morning, Monday through Friday. And we'll talk with David Moulton on the other side. You've been listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Chad Gwathney right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Star Kylian Mbappe returns to France's starting lineup for today's Euro 2024 Group D game against Poland. Mbappe, who broke his nose last week, will wear a mask while on the pitch. His coach says that his vision has been impacted by wearing the mask. Former Raiders defensive end Chandler Jones pleaded no contest yesterday to a domestic violence charge and will avoid jail time if he meets certain conditions. He received a 90-day jail sentence. Charge will be dismissed if he stays out of trouble the next 6 months and has no contact with the victim. He left the Raiders Labor Day weekend last year after social media posts aimed at the team. Owner Mark Davis, then GM David Ziegler, and then coach Josh McDaniels. Vegas cut him after his arrest. Novak Djokovic, encouraged by his progress after minor knee surgery a couple of weeks ago, but says he'll only play at Wimbledon next month if he's able to contend. He is seeking a record-extending 25th major trophy.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Our customers want best-in-class solutions. That's why we've recently added many new vendors like Zebra barcode printers. Our next level team has added premier automation solutions. We're not here to sell you just one product, and we love helping you find the right solution to your specific needs. That's what doing the right thing is all about, and that's why our customers have come back for over 50 years.
From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopé. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road. Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10-plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at GenSuperstore.com.
Sports Talk 24/7 365. Your full-time sports station.
You're doing a great job. Keep up the good work.
Is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Doesn't anyone do any work around this joint anymore?
You need to be more like a dog. Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about. Be a dog. God bless the show. You are the Messiah. We need more dogs. This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. Hey, I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live, here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby!
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the Thom Abraham Show. This is Chad Gwathney once again taking over for Thom Abraham as he's in the woods somewhere with Miss Alan Abraham, the wonderful Miss Alan Abraham, as they're enjoying a little vacation time. And if you've listened to this program enough, you know that Thom likes to frequent vacations quite often, and I think it's just he does a lot of work around here behind the scenes, so let him have some time off. No, shut up, Chad. What are you talking about? You're doing his show right now. You're taking over the show. You're doing everything you can. But yeah, it's fun. It's always great to be able to take over the show, and anytime that I'm able to get on here and break down a little bit what's going on and kind of reflect on what I want to talk about, it's always a good day. So thank you so much, everybody that's been listening in. Thank you so much for that first hour as well. Congratulations to the two winners who were able to win some tickets to the Rock City Trash Pandas. Congratulations again, and I hope you have a good time on July 10th, as it will be dog night once again. But another dog that we like to talk to, another guy that we enjoy every time that he's on this program. You might listen to him for about 35 minutes when he's with Thom, but we're going to try to go a little shorter today and give him a little bit of a break because I think he's gone next week. I don't think he's going to be on the program next week. I think he's taking vacation or something. No, he's shaking his head if you're watching on video. So we'll try to figure that out. I'm not going to be here. I see your face. I am not going to be here, apparently, but I will be here. But yes, it is David Moulton from ESPN Southwest Florida. He's not here, man. What's going on, buddy?
Yes, I will not be on the show next week. My wife's having major surgery. I have to take next week off.
No,
so
I
believe me. It is not a vacation. We are not getting a vacation in 2024.
Are you? And you're not getting a vacation at all in 2024?
I will not get a vacation. No, no.
Football season's got you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would think.
Yeah, maybe mid to late spring of 25.
You're not going to go to the parade down in Miami or wherever they're going to.
No,
have it
I'm
for
a
the
Rangers
Panthers.
fan, so no.
You wouldn't be caught dead in that thing,
no.
right?
No, I mean, great for them. You know how I feel, Chad.
Right.
Everybody should have a parade once. I truly believe that. I believe. No. Come on. We invest a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of money as sports fans, and we root for however many teams it is we root for. All right. I don't think that you as a fan are entitled to numerous championships. I do think that as a sports fan, the sports gods owe you one. And one when you're old enough to appreciate it.
Yeah.
Like, that I happen to grow up in Jersey. I'm a Knicks fan. I was 7 when they won their last championship. I have no recollection of it all. To me, also as a fan, it's like a game show. You should be able to show up and you hit the buzzer. That's when your clock starts. Kind of like, okay, now I'm old enough. I will remember this for the rest of my life. Boom. Okay. Got it. Okay. Now the clock starts. 1. You get 1. Everything after that's gravy.
I will say I was fairly young when the Braves won their first one. To win one in 2021 was probably one of the craziest things as a fan.
Yes.
You're 30-something years old. It's something that, like, yes,
Right.
finally after 25 years, yes, finally.
Right.
Yes.
And now they don't know you anything now.
No, they don't know me anything.
You want numerous titles, but they don't owe you anything. You got your one. You were old enough to appreciate it, the whole deal. You can get married, have kids, go on with your, above average life, just like the rest of us. Okay.
So when we're looking at some of these teams, I mean, 30 years, Florida Panthers finally win one. They were right there last year. They finally win one. I mean, is there a team right now that could do the same thing in a short span? Are the Nashville Predators that type of team that a lot of their fan base is, 25 years or younger. So is there anything that, any team that you could see that is a short span or has a short span of a franchise?
Well, I'll say this, Chad. We were talking about it this morning. 6 years ago, the Florida Panthers were a complete grease fire. I mean, this applies to college sports as well. You pick your school, your team, your program. The Florida Panthers 6 years ago were one of the 5 worst professional franchises in North American sports and had been for a generation. When you talked about franchises that could get up and relocate, as recently as 5-6 years ago, the Florida Panthers were on the very, 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 very short list. Here's the irony. The guy who's coaching in Nashville 2 years ago took Florida and won the President's Trophy. It's not like that guy couldn't coach. They just decided to do it a different way. So, what happened in Florida? The same thing that happens in colleges or any other pro leagues. What happened? First off, they got stable ownership since the first time since their inception. And secondly, they had back-to-back terrific GMs. Well, it's the same thing in college, okay? You get a university president on board to do what it is that a university needs to do to support an athletic department. Then you hire the right athletic director. And then in theory, you either have competent coaches or you get them. And then you say, okay, do the job we're paying you to do. I mean, Baylor men's basketball is one of the 5 best programs in the country over the last 10 years. Baylor men's basketball. Seriously?
Right. Yeah.
20 years ago,
Yeah.
teammates were shooting each other. Okay? I mean, honestly, it just takes a handful of hiring the right people at any school. Look at Tennessee baseball. I mean, 6 years ago, there were 318 people going to their games. There was no reason to expand Lindsey Nelson Stadium. There was no talk about Tennessee going to have a season where not only they win a natty, they win 60 games. It's like, is that over 2 years? No. In 1 year, we're going to win 60 games, and we're going to win the national title. I'm sorry, did you see Tennessee baseball? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it just takes the right person or people, Chad. And, like we asked a question today on the show. Here's an NFL question. Buffalo, Detroit, Cleveland, Minnesota. 4 franchises that have not won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Which one's going to win it first? Okay. And if you asked that question 3 years ago, it was laughable. How could you even include Detroit in that question?
Right.
Seriously,
Right.
3
Right.
years ago. And now look at where they are, and you're like, I might put $20 on the Lions. I mean, it doesn't. In a way, it doesn't take much. And in a way, Chad, it takes everything.
Yeah,
everything. I mean, your baseball team's been fortunate.
Yeah.
You hired Sherholtz and Cox 35 years ago, and then they handed it over almost seamlessly and never had a moment really of incompetence. And that's a big reason why you guys have been, one of the, if not the best franchise in baseball for 30 years. Brian Cashman's been the GM for 25 years with the Yankees. I think he's overrated, but obviously he knows something of what he's doing. They haven't had a losing season since the first Bush was president.
It's kind of comparable to like some of these teams. Like you got the Nationals, obviously they just became they became a franchise finally after so long, and then they win a title. The Marlins, they were only like 27. I mean, in the 27 or was it 28 years that they've been a franchise, they have 2 titles. I mean, is it just necessarily the right team, or is it based on the best franchise getting at the right time in certain sports?
Well, I think the franchises that you've talked about have proven that there's more than one way to win.
Yeah.
Like the Panthers, if we just stick with the hockey team for a second, it's very unusual what they just did. Only 3 or 4 of the guys of the 20-something that they dressed in the playoffs were drafted by the Panthers. One they picked up off waivers, and everybody else they acquired via trade. That's highly unusual. You talk about the Marlins, all right? The first time they won a title, obviously, that was a lot of guys acquired from other organizations. Hell, it was only their 5th year of existence. Now, by the second time, a lot of those guys were homegrown guys that they added a Pudge Rodriguez to and a couple of others. So, once again, there's 2. Now, think about it in college. I mean, you can go from the outhouse to the penthouse and back in a 2-3 year window. It all depends, or, hey, how's our NIL situation? Do we have a good year in the portal? I mean, you can go from not good to great overnight. I mean, it's basically big time college sports is free agency. And so if you've got the funds and if you pick the right players, shazam.
Yeah. Yeah. So what are we going to say about Edmonton on the other side? I mean, 33 years since they've won a title. I get they've won it before, but are they right there on the cusp of winning it because they have the best player in, all of hockey right now?
It's tough to imagine that they're not going to be a contender for the rest of the decade because they do have a transformative player. I mean, like right now in the NBA, I think we would have a vigorous debate as to who the best player in the NBA is.
Yeah.
I think even there would be a little bit of debate in baseball. I know the easy answer is Ohtani, but now he's not pitching this year. So this year, who's the best player in baseball? I don't even know if Ohtani's the best player on the Dodgers. It might be Betts.
Yeah.
Let's not discount Freddie Freeman. Is it Aaron Judge? But in hockey, Mahomes is the best player in the NFL. Connor McDavid's the best player in the NHL. Those 2 are beyond debate. Now, unfortunately for McDavid, he wasn't on the score sheet the last 2 games of the finals, and you never know if you're going to be there again. I mean, did he just have his Patrick Ewing, Dan Marino moment, and he's never going to get back? Connor McDavid could end up on the short list of greatest players of all time who didn't end up with a ring. I mean, Chad, that was Edmonton's first trip to the finals in 18 years. He ain't playing 18 more years.
Yeah. Yeah. 27 years old. I mean, great player. I mean, it's just, you don't know how many more years
we don't know.
Yeah.
Right. We just, and that's why we watch. It is. It's why we love sports. It's the best reality television. There's nothing that's close. It's awesome. You have no idea what's going to happen. And winning is hard. So hard. And that's why when it happens, and it's easy when you're winning a lot. Like a Chiefs fan's probably taking it for granted. An Alabama fan had to, at times just roll over like a pig in mud and scratch themselves in the belly because, they were winning so much. But it really is for the rest of the world. It's hard.
I mean, I get it. We're an Alabama station. It's all Roll Tide, War Eagle, whatever. But when Tennessee won, we do have a good bit of fan base. So we do have a good bit of fans that call into the show. The Crazies haven't called in today, but for them to get their first, I mean, like as a fan, as just a fan of a sport, like I totally agree with you. It's awesome to see. I'm not that kid anymore. That is just, oh no, Tennessee. I'm not. If you didn't go to the college, if you're not a kid anymore, you can't really get hurt or get mad when a team that you don't like wins. I mean, maybe you don't like, but a team that you at least can respect, try to win as you get older. That's the thing about sports. It's like you got to start respecting like outside of just your fan base or just your team. You can't just be a radical.
Well, Alabama football and a few others have distorted this, but Ohio State's had a few good players in the last 55 years. And by a few, I mean a few hundred. And they've won a lot of games in the last 55 years. Do you know how many national championships Ohio State football has in the last 55 years? 2. All right?
2?
Yeah. And over 55 years, name the programs that you think have consistently had as much or more talent as Ohio State. You can probably name it on about 3 fingers.
Yeah.
Right.
Bama, Miami.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard.
Yeah.
It really is, and that's why I want the joke on the show is, Moulton wishes every fan can go to one parade. And I do. I think everybody should get one parade. You're not entitled to anything else, but I do think you put 50, 60, 70 years of time, effort, energy, in some cases tears, money into it. I think every fan deserves a parade. Absolutely, I do.
So I have not seen any of the numbers or anything like that. I know hockey has gone up, but I just think that, like, as a fan, I'm not a hockey nut. I'm not a huge fan. But I'll tell you this, I was just like every other fan that agrees with you, that agrees with everybody that's saying, I mean, the Stanley Cup playoffs was way more watchable than the dismal NBA finals. I mean, that just I love the teams that were in the finals, but I just didn't get that what I got in hockey. You know what I mean? I just didn't get that same feel.
All right. This may be a reach of an analogy, and feel free and have the audience tell me if it's a reach also. I do think there's a decent number of fans, and maybe, Chad, it's more my generation than yours.
Yeah.
And I'm 58. That we're not crazy about the style of basketball that's being played right now. It's a few too many threes. And we would like a little bit more physical of a game. We'd like the game a little closer to the basket, more set plays, not isolation, two-man stuff. And to me, it's kind of like the difference between SEC Big Ten football and sometimes watching Big 12 football, where Big 12 football seems to be a lot of spread it out and chuck and duck. 53-42. That's the type of game we're going to have. And it's kind of like, okay, it's it got some good players. It's pretty good. It's, it can be entertaining at times, but I don't know if I want to watch this every week. I really do. I mean, what's wrong with a little 27-24 action? What's wrong with actually having a punt a quarter? I mean, is this really the worst thing we could have instead of, one punt a day and, 2 turnovers on downs in the whole game? And I feel that that's kind of what the NBA is going through right now. The NBA is going through their Big 12 football phase. This is Mike Leach, everywhere. And it's kind of like, I'd kind of like to bring, I don't know, blocking and tackling back into play, if you know what I mean. And so that's kind of what I feel is going on with the NBA right now. It needs to be just a few less threes would be nice, because it's a game that a lot of us are not familiar with playing or seeing. And it's kind of like, where the hell did this come from, in the last 8-10 years? And it started really with Curry and Golden State. But they also pass the ball much better than everybody else. That's the thing that's missing. They got everybody involved in the flow. 4 or 5 people touched it every possession. Now it's just a lot of 1-2-man game and chuck it up and, 90 shots in a game and 50 of them are threes. I mean,
I just love to see like Alexander Sarr or, Dalton Connect or somebody to pull like a Shaq just from like 25 years ago, just to like turn around and dunk on somebody and then kick them out of the way. You know what I mean? Like, I'm right there with you.
Here's what I'd be curious about. And I know your audience is not huge into the NBA, neither is ours. But if there was a Shaq today, all right, would that person score 60 a game? Because there's absolutely no chance of them handling him? Or would they say, well, he's dominant, but he can't really shoot from the outside. I don't know what I'm going to do with him. Who's he going to guard? I don't know. You throw it to him every time. He scores every time he's got the ball. That seems pretty good to me. I mean, that's what I'm wondering. Like today, I don't even know what basketball would do with a Shaq or an Hakeem, because they'd go, well, he can't shoot the outside shot. Yeah, I know, but he's kind of unstoppable.
It's like as
last
soon
time
as
I checked, 70% of twos is pretty good.
But it's like as soon as he tries to move towards the basket, I feel like in the NBA nowadays you're just gonna get called a foul. I mean, if you try to jerk yourself one way like the bigs of just 20-something years ago did, it's immediately a foul in the new age of basketball, especially the way that they try to protect the players, but also just the flopping and everything else that goes outside of the game.
Oh, don't get me going on the flopping. I just had a little 3-day weekend in which the people I was with were watching all the soccer.
Oh man,
my goodness!
I'm sure you're enjoying the Euro Championships for sure, aren't you?
Oh my goodness! Guys, I've never seen so many people just shot. I mean, they go down in the heap. I mean, it's obviously they've been shot, and then they're holding their legs. They're never going to walk again. Never mind play. And then it's 40 seconds later. Oh my goodness!
We have the HCFC team, the Nashville SC's feeder team, basically for the MLS Next Pro, and I pretty much go to like every home game. And last home game that they had 2 players on the opposite team that went down, and I swear it was like get the stretcher, get him, and then 2 seconds later or 20 minutes later he's
back
up
in the game.
He's good to go, you know.
Right.
And you've got 7 minutes, 8 minutes of stoppage time, and you're like, what's going on here?
I just the flopping kills me, and unfortunately, the U.S. what started out we didn't flop.
Yeah.
On men's or women's side, we didn't flop, and then others were flopping, and they were getting the benefit of it. So what did we start doing? We started flopping. So now I watch the U.S. men's team, and we're flopping just like the South American teams. And I'm like, no.
Play style, the flopping.
Especially when you're watching the hockey playoffs. And then you're like,
you got guys that are losing teeth, have broken arms, playing throughout everything.
This one guy in the Rangers played the playoffs with a broken ankle. And you're flopping because you claim you got kicked in the shin. By the way, you have a shin guard.
Yes. Or you just get beat on a play. And it's like a kid. They just fall down. And thinking that if they fall down, it's like in basketball, you get your ankles broken, you get crossed, and then you just fall down, and then you expect a foul. I mean, it's just crazy in the world of sports. It's just.
Well, I have to admit that's how I played defense growing up because I wasn't very good. But
I tried to play defense. I couldn't shoot. That was my problem. I was like really good at defense and passing. I wasn't very good shooting. So.
Oh yeah, you were one of those.
Yeah, I was one of those.
With translation. You couldn't play.
No, not at all.
I couldn't.
I'm 5'8". Are you kidding me?
Exactly right. I'm 5'10". Right. Fat.
I'm shorter than
hands.
you, so that's even worse.
Right. Yeah.
I couldn't get around.
No shot.
So speaking of NBA, let's talk about the draft. I mean, are we going to talk about how the Atlanta Hawks are probably going to end up doing one of the worst things ever and probably draft Bronny at number 1 overall?
They're not going to do that, please. He's going to go at the very end of the second round on Thursday. He's probably going to be taken by the Lakers at 55. Maybe somebody else will take him in the 50s. For what it's worth, I actually think LeBron should go to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Anybody cares?
Yeah.
I think him with Embiid and Maxey would be dynamite. I think he's exactly what Philly needs, and I think you have a much better chance of winning the next 2 years in the East than the West. But, yeah, basketball, hockey drafts both coming up this week. Free agency begins on Monday in both, and then, everybody should take a vacation.
So what are your thoughts, because you're talking about best players, and we're talking about, obviously, the draft. 1-2 is 2 French guys. What are your thoughts on just, like, you talk about how the game has changed, too. I mean, the MVP hasn't even been American in, like, the last 5 or 6 years. So what are your thoughts on the game kind of changing to more of a European game and how some of these American players, I feel like some of these American players get drowned out but also don't have that killer instinct like some of these European players do?
2 or 3 quick things. First off, all goes back to 92 and the Dream Team. All right, this is by design.
Yeah.
David Stern wanted to make it a global game. He and they, very successful. This all goes back to the Dream Team in 92, number 1. Number 2, I think in more than one sport, people are determining that the way they train in Europe in terms of taking them and putting them basically in professionalized teams as mid to late teens is more effective way of doing it than maybe how we do it in certain sports in America and North America. Also, I think everybody's in agreement, Chad, that the AAUing of sports is not developing players.
Yeah.
It's playing games, it's generating revenue, but we're not developing players the way we used to by the AAUing of sports. And I also think it could start to happen in football, because we're starting to see the 7-on-7s and the AAUing of football. And
I'm not a big
wonder,
fan of that.
particularly at the line of scrimmage, a lot of football coaches that I've talked to are concerned about. I mean, when you're getting all-star games and you're having to teach players how to huddle, when you're having to teach them about the three-point stance. And so I'm curious as to where line play goes in the next 10 years in football, also because of what we're doing at the youth level.
So with this, I mean, kind of comparable to that, this international football, tackle football thing they got going on where Canada's beating teams 110-0, and honestly, USA probably should have beat their opponents. Probably should have blanked their opponent as well. But I mean, it's just this weird concept of trying to bring football to other countries. I don't see it like really resonating a little bit as much as basketball kind of is. But it's kind of like, can it help the sport at all?
Well, we'll see. I mean, it took 40 plus years for soccer to really catch on in this country.
Finally be on TV.
I mean, they tried it all through the 70s and the 80s, and it basically failed. And then, with some Olympic and world national team success, particularly on the women's side, it's, but it took 2 generations of shoving soccer down our throat before about 10 or so years ago, we went, you know what? I think this is okay. Maybe I wouldn't mind seeing it. And so it might take, Chad, that long in the rest of the world that will shove football down their throat. Maybe around 2050, 2060, they'll go, you know what? Kind of like this idea.
It's just that, because I remember when I was listening, going back to the College World Series, just speaking on games, talking about Tony Vitello talking about the 4-hour baseball game and just how we just kind of don't really recognize how long those games take unless you're there. But if you're at an MLB game, you're like, oh, this game couldn't go sooner, and I hope we want it to go sooner, and the changes of the game and everything like that. It's just that I feel like a lot of the changes to games and everything like that, we just don't pay attention too much outside of once our SEC team, SEC football player or baseball player or whatever is gone and he's in the MLB, we really don't really pay attention to him much after that. I mean, look at the UFL. All of these guys are former players that we loved in college football, but as soon as they go to the professional ranks, quote professional ranks, we could care less, or we may not even remember if he went to that college or not.
I hate to be trite, but Seinfeld was right. We're rooting for helmets and jerseys, and we do.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll never forget, and I know we got to go, but Tim Tebow was debating whether to come back for his final year at Florida or not. And one of the things that was out there was that Tebow was running a college offense. They're not going to run this offense in the pros. And he's running it great. He's a college football legend. But does Urban Meyer and do the Gators owe Tebow a little something? Should they bring in a coordinator who could help get him ready for the NFL? Even if you're not running many of those plays on Saturdays, because you don't need to. Should they bring someone in to help him so that he can, be a decent NFL quarterback? And 90% of Gator fans were overwhelmingly calling in and saying, no, we owe nothing to Tim Tebow. It's all about the Gators.
Yeah.
Urban needs to do whatever he has to do to win football games on Saturday. We owe Tim nothing. Now, that was Tim Tebow in Florida.
Wow.
And the fans said, we don't owe him anything 15 years ago. And I don't think that fan base is that out of sorts. I mean, ask an Alabama fan, how much did they feel they owed Hurts or Tua or any of the wide
Julio
receivers?
Jones.
No, you're there for us. Yeah. This is our team. We care about you here. We wish you well on Sundays. But we love you on Saturday.
The front of the jersey, not the back of the jersey. And I think as a fan base, we know that. But now with the growing NIL and everything like that, it's more of the back of the jersey. It's kind of growing into the back of the jersey.
Well, it's certainly for them. I mean,
yeah.
It's business.
Which is great. Yeah.
And Chad, most everything we've talked about here, whether it's changes to sports, it's almost always goes back to money. Trying to shorten games. Why are we trying to shorten games? Television.
Right.
Where does the money come from? Television. Make it more popular on television. That'll make us all more money. So, I happen to like the pitch clocks. I think college baseball.
I do too. Yeah. I agree with you.
I think people have been conceived and born in less time than, a College World Series game can finish. I don't doubt that Omaha's very exciting, but I do think we could take 45 minutes off these games and it'd still be really exciting.
Well, I'll get you out of here in just a second, but I'm just saying, like, in college baseball, we don't care if a starting pitcher throws 120 pitches, but as soon as he goes to the pros, he throws 72, we freak out, and he gets injured. So it's just, like you said, changing of the guard and everything like that is just insane when it comes to different types of sports because we don't pay attention to it enough.
When Chris Sale was a junior, because he came out after his junior year, he was on a pitch count. Now, the pitch count was 130, but he was on a pitch count. And then late in the year, when it was obvious he was going to be a high first-round pick, his head coach had to keep reducing the pitch count because scouts and what have you were giving him a hard time going, what are you doing having him throw 118 pitches? And he's like, well, he's my Friday guy. I mean, he's getting guys out. Why would I take him out of the game? And literally his last start, which ironically was against Jacob deGrom in a conference tournament. Yeah. And deGrom took him deep. Couple of great stories, but quickly, he took him out after like 104 pitches, 7 innings, gave up 2 runs, but took him out after 104 when in the regular season, if he wasn't going to get drafted in another couple of weeks, in the regular season, he would have left him in there for at least the 8th inning.
Yeah. For like another 30 pitches, give or take.
Well, it's certainly one more inning of pitches.
Yeah.
But he's like, nope, got to get him out of there. He could see the scouts behind the plate kind of glaring into the dugout like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Why is he still in the game?
That's crazy. Well, thank you so much, David, man. It's great to have you on. I know I kind of was confusing you a little bit getting you on today, but I kind of, like I told everyone earlier in the program, I kind of like failed at prepping this whole thing, but kind of worked on the fly and had everything set up, and I just wanted to make sure that we get you in for sure.
Chad, I'm going to ask you a couple of very simple questions. Did you sign on time?
Yeah.
Are you signing off on time?
Definitely. Going to try to.
Are all the commercials going to get played?
Oh, they will, for sure.
This show was a tremendous success, Chad.
I greatly appreciate it, brother. It's always good to hear from you. Please listen to Miller and Moulton 5 to 7 on Talk Radio WZZN on your app, on your HD2 radio. I listen to them. I did not listen to today, so a lot of the show did not come off of your show. I promise you that. I did not listen today. I did miss it today, but I am a frequent listener. I am a Twitch follower. Go follow them on Twitch. Donate to them. Whatever you got to do, help them out as much as possible. But David, thank you so much.
And since I won't be on next weekend, everyone have a great and happy 4th. Be safe, and we'll talk again soon.
All right. Have a good rest of your day. Appreciate it. Have a good week. Much love to your wife and speedy recovery.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Have a good one. That was David Moulton. Always love to have him on. He loves to just kind of get on and mess with me a little bit, but I just like it. I like to just sit back and listen, and I know the listeners like to just sit back and listen to David Moulton, talk to Thom, break down everything. I think we actually pushed it up to 35 minutes. That's pretty bad. That's bad on me. But we need to get to a break. We need to pay some bills. And thank you again to David Moulton for reaching out, or for me to reaching out to David Moulton and him being able to get back on with us. But like I said, check him out at the David Moulton. He's on at ESPN Southwest Florida. And you've been listening to the Thom Abraham Show right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Check out VSiN's catalog of original podcasts, daily and weekly programming to keep you in the know when you're on the go. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
0-2 pitch, grounded to short, and underneath the glove of Arcia into center field, and the Cardinals going to pick up another run on the base hit by Wilson Contreras.
Cardinals radio in Monday's 4-3 win over Atlanta. Brendan Donovan had 3 hits with an RBI. Lance Lynn pitched into the 7th, lifting the Cards to their 4th consecutive win in 9th over 12 games. St. Louis is 25-13 after a 15-24 start. Atlanta, meanwhile, had won 8 of their previous 10 games. Get the latest lines and more at vsin.com.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold-certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
This summer, make Cheeseburger Bobby's your go-to spot for great food. Try their bucket list burger, 2 beef patties, fried egg, bacon, onion ring, 3 slices of American cheese, Bobby sauce, and topped with a pickle. Their fresh, hand-breaded chicken tenders are a fan favorite, and the chili cheese dog with fries will make you think you've died and gone to hot dog heaven. Cheeseburger Bobby's, 2785 Carl T. Jones Drive. Order online at cheeseburgerbobbies.com. Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Owen Home Appliance Center features the biggest names in home appliances like Viking, Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, GE, and Frigidaire. But they also have great brands that you may not know, like Mela, Forno, Z-Line, Invisicook, and Beko. But no matter what, they all get delivered the day you buy, and they service everything they sell. And at the Lacey Spring Showroom, just 8 miles south of the river on 231, you'll find a totally interactive showroom where you can hear the dishwashers wash, and the freezer's free, and see the cookies get baked in the double ovens. Owen Home Appliance Center will even wash and dry a load of clothes for you so that you can see how great the products are. And they have ice machines making all kinds of ice, cubed, nugget, and top hat. How is that for variety? Owen Home Appliance Center believes in community involvement as well, sponsoring youth teams, race cars, and an annual Easter egg hunt. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service is the name of the game for Owen Home Appliance Center. Find them in Somerville and Lacey Springs and online at owenappliance.com.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly to partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 90s. We're dropping into the low and mid 70s as we head into the overnight. A mostly cloudy sky Wednesday afternoon. We're still going to get to enjoy a little bit of sunshine. Temperatures climbing into the upper 80s and lower 90s. I actually think we're going to get a little bit of rain on Wednesday. Temperatures drop into the lower 70s as we head into the overnight. A mostly to partly sunny sky Thursday afternoon. Temperatures again climbing into the upper 80s and lower 90s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Back to the Thom Abraham Show. This is Chad Gwathney, a.k.a. Coach Grizz, once again finishing up the show here for the big dog as he is out of the box enjoying a little vacation time with Alan Abraham, the wonderful Alan Abraham. Wonderful lady, absolutely great lady. I hope they're enjoying themselves. I hope they are just getting away. I hope they're listening to the show. Hopefully they're like enjoying the show like you have been doing throughout the day, or you've just been calling in and just saying, yes, the show's been great, and just trying to make me feel good. It's all good. It's okay. It's okay. I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. I appreciate everybody calling in that's been able to try to call in. I'm sorry that we had some guests lined up. Also, you know, just trying to get through the day, trying to just give you something that's been going on throughout the week. Trying to break down what we've got going on the rest of the night as well. Of course, you got Rocket City Trash Pandas tonight. Pre-game starts at 6. First pitch at 6:15. On the road, Chattanooga Lookouts. You've got Bailey running the board tonight. You've got Josh Carey doing a wonderful job. I keep saying his last name is Logan. He's going to get mad at me. Logan Bunderos. He does a great job as well, filling in from inning to inning with Josh as well. I've met Logan quite a few times. Just absolutely fun to be a part of the Trash Pandas. If you haven't been to a game, please go out to a game. If not, we've got plenty of tickets to give away for future games as well. So maybe tomorrow we might give away some tickets. If not, we'll kind of wait till maybe Thom gets back. I think I'm going to be gone and out of the box next week. So Bailey Lowry will be taking over the show, and he'll be doing producing on that side. So give him some love, help him out, be nice to him, everything like that. I think someone's calling me, but I can't tell. For some reason, I can't see it. Who is this? Let me see who this is. 977 ESPN. Hello? Would you like to get on? Oh, this is LSU Lynch. I see it. Hold on. We can do this. LSU Lynch, welcome to the show, buddy. What's going on? I think it was LSU Lynch. You there? Oh, no. I don't think you can hear anything. Now can you hear anything, LSU Lynch? My bad. Can you hear anything?
I can hear somebody. What's going on?
Hey, man. It's good to hear from you, dude.
So, look here. It's been a good show. Look here. I love the Moulton and everything. You doing a good job. You hear me?
Yeah, I greatly appreciate that. Yeah, Steve, I love Steve, man. He'll just come out of the woodwork somewhere, and he'll text me or something like that, and he's like, you need somebody? All right, I'm there tomorrow. Even when he's on vacation, everything like that, he told me that he would be here this week. I said, dude, go on vacation, go away, and, come back, but just go away for a little while. It's like they're trying to do that to me next week, but I know that you're going to find me in the ceiling at like 8 o'clock at night. I'm gonna be here like monitoring the place, doing something like next week. I just know it. There's gonna be something that I'm gonna have to do.
Well, look here. I'm getting upset. You know, I don't like the meteorologists. You know, I don't like them. Don't like them. You got the first alert. Want to make you have a heart attack every time. And come on, okay.
Are you talking about my boy Jordan or Emily? Are you talking about what meter?
All of them.
Okay.
I don't like none of them, son. None of them. Okay? Look here. Grace, she may have a shot. Ben Smith, go be a photographer. You suck.
What's making you so rough? I mean, what's so rough about it? You think they get too adamant, too early on?
They paid a bunch of money to go forecast how to grill a hot dog. You hear me? Anyway, what I was going to get at, too, was see, I don't get so upset.
Well, I'll just say this. I do like Daniel Dozier's Can You Walk Your Dog Outside or Not? That's a great forecast, okay? Because someone that walks his dog frequently and will not take his dog right now at all at 4 o'clock because it's 117 degrees, I will not take my dog outside.
Now, look here. This is what I was going to say. Apparently, the old Mississippi, well, let me back up. The Creamsicles, congratulations. Congratulations.
Yeah.
You mentioned them in your comments. Okay, you got one. It's like Moulton said, you're good. You're good. Go drink your Jack Daniels, eat your fried chicken.
I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I was surprised that nobody called in and tried to do a Wolverine Dan special about how Tennessee Volunteers are, some great baseball program or something like that. But I think, like I said before, if it was football, we'd probably have a little bit more of those crazies in here.
But then, Mississippi, apparently they done changed their football uniform. Have you seen it?
I did. It was the white jersey that they were showing or something?
Yeah, I've not
It's got
seen
specs
it.
on
I
it?
saw the article.
Okay. I thought maybe they went with something else. I mean, Ole Miss did that, like, what was it, Mossy Oak jersey and helmet. I mean, I do like some of them, but if you would just stay with the red jersey the baby blue helmet and the gray pants, I'm at home. I'm not even an Ole Miss fan, and I absolutely love that jersey. I just love it when they do the baby blue helmets. I think it looks better than the dark blue.
So I'm good with it. I just want to call in.
And I like y'all's purple. I wish y'all'd wear purple more.
No, let me tell you.
You don't like the purple? I like the white helmets though.
I mean, I like the white and like an old mustard yellow. You hear me?
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
I like that, But like I said, somebody gonna get throat punched the next time y'all call me by my real name coming in this thing.
Hey, now Thom did that first, so we blame Thom. And then Steve did it, and I just went with it. I'm just a follower, so I apologize. So I guess I'm just as bad.
Like I said,
don't tell him by his government name.
Yeah. The Hydra Fest is about to get rained.
Yes. I'm excited. I was actually going to play Corey Peabody. I was going to recap that before you called. And I was going to talk all about it and kind of break it down and everything. I'm excited. I'm going to be there. I'm going to enjoy everything that's going on, the spectacle and all the build up and everything. I think it's going to be a lot of fun for sure.
Well, son, what
I've
I'm
never
getting
been.
at is it's supposed to rain.
Really?
That's what I was getting at with these meteorologists that I don't like.
Well, I'll wear a poncho jacket.
We're going back. Daniel Dozer just put on a bikini and say, "Hey, we about to say y'all been saving up and it's over."
Come on, man. I mean, it's not that bad. I'll see you too, man. It's always great to hear from LSU Lynch. It's always great to hear from anybody. I think Natty Danny tried to call in as well and said doing a great job, but also wanted to be a part of the program too. I told him to call in tomorrow because I really didn't know if I was going to be able to squeeze anybody in or not. I've really just been trying to make sure that I get all the programming in and all the commercials in rather than trying to get all and try to confuse myself because there's a lot of times where you start doing stuff like I didn't have LSU Lynch on right away with the sound. So, it's just kind of one of those things when you're kind of running it yourself today. And like I said, I did not prep very well, so do not tell on me. Please don't tell Thom. Please don't tell Steve Moulton. I did tell Steve how I was going to kind of like set up this show. But I literally I did a really bad, I got so busy yesterday. I did a really bad job of asking the boys to help me out. So tomorrow you will have Bailey Lowry and John Abraham from the Morning Blitz on with me as well as we kind of break down what's going to go on around the Trash Pandas, NBA Draft. Of course, you're going to get Carey's Corner with Josh Carey. Like I said, you're going to get a new guest in Dan Purcell. He's going to break down the NFL Draft. Thank you again, Bo Estes. Because Bo Estes is actually in like wine country or something or he's in Tuscany or something. I don't know. He is in California in some house at a winery enjoying himself with his wife. So, talk about these sports guys and just getting away and everything like that. I would just like to go by myself. I just want to go down to the beach. I may just do an impromptu trip next week when I'm gone and just go to the beach. I don't know. But the Trash Pandas are in town. I may go to a few games. I may just see what's going on around the city. I may go 2 hours north, 2 hours south, 2 hours west, 2 hours east. I might go somewhere just to get away. I might go to a Rome Emperors game if they're playing at home. There's just some things that I've been kind of thinking about doing, but also going to. I may go to a AAA or a AA game that's close or a AAA game that's close. I mean, I don't know. It's just something that I like to do. It's something I like to do outside here. I might go to Point Mallard. I mean, I don't know. There's just so many things. It's so hot. I mean, I don't have a pool. I might need to go do that. So I just want to say I appreciate everybody listening to the show. Just go follow us on all our socials, Twitter, Facebook. We have been posting a lot more on Instagram. Every time we go out there, we're trying to post as much as possible. We're trying to be young and hip. Like Michael K says, we're not trying to be mid, like the kids say. We're trying to be, a little bit fresh and everything like that and try to show you like where we're going, as soon as we get pictures from the Rocket City Awards. And I know everybody loved those. I know that once we get those, I think Scott kind of will handle that. But once we get all the pictures for that, we'll start getting all those out there and we'll post it on Instagram, post it on Facebook, post it on our Twitter account, just so you can go and find out that. But you can also find out our rundown. Every time we post for a show, the restream will go straight to Twitter. It'll go straight to YouTube. So if you see it and you have the bell on or you're subscribed on YouTube, boom, as soon as it's live, you're going to get that show. So just reset your browser. A lot of times, I mean, I watch on the TV at home. All your TVs have apps nowadays. So just go to the YouTube app and you can, I mean, we've made it to the point of actually making it a video show that you can go and watch a show. You can get video commercials of what's going on. Hydrofest, Kia, many number of sponsors that are just that outside of just the radio side. You're going to get the audio, but you're also going to get the video as well. You know, we're not trying to Paul Feinbaum it. I get it. Some of you guests out there want to see your face on the stream. LSU Lynch, Grumpy, Natty Danny, Brandon. There's a lot of you out there. I've had people that ask me for new pictures. Y'all acting like you run the show, which you do. I love it. But we can do that for you. If you want to be embarrassed on our program and you want to be a part of the program, we're not trying to be like Paul Feinbaum. We're our own show. But if you want to be a part of it, I'll put it on the stream. I don't mind it. We do all that. We try to show you what's going on weekly for the Trash Pandas or what's going on weekly throughout our calendar. So we just greatly appreciate you listening to the show as always. But I'm going to get out of here. Thank you so much as always. We'll be back tomorrow, like I said, with the boys. I don't know about Thursday. We'll try to figure that out. If there's a game going on or if we're out early or something like that, I'll try to figure that out. If not, I'm going to have Steve Merrill probably on Thursday, and then I'll probably try to find another guest as well. And then maybe Friday we'll do a best of, kind of take out the rest of the weekend, and I'll be gone that whole week, the following week. But I'm gone now, and I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be working around the office. If you need anything at all, call into the station. If you're thinking about going out this weekend, like I said before, in the future we'll give out some tickets for the Trash Pandas and stuff like that. So just always be listening to 97.7 ESPN and Talk Radio WZZN. Everyone have a good rest of their day. This has been Chad Gwathney on the Thom Abraham Show. See you.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust